So Chance Westry is healthy for Syracuse basketball. That means their ceiling is raised. How much? That is the question.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and we're free and available wherever you get your podcast. And on this week's Poll Friday, I asked you guys the question, now that Chance Westry is healthy for Syracuse basketball, what is their ceiling? And in case you missed it, I believe it was last weekend when On3's Joe Tipton reported that Chance Westry is fully cleared. He is good to go after basically being injured for the last 2 seasons. Now, I gave you guys 4 choices: NIT, NCAA Tournament berth, round of 32, or the final choice, Sweet 16 or better. Once again, the ceiling for Syracuse basketball next season now that Chance Westry is healthy, and the results are in. In first place, Sweet 16 or better. About 44% of you guys said that, followed by NCAA Tournament berth. In third place was round of 32, and in fourth, it was a dead fourth, was the NIT. What I want you guys to remember about this video is that, or this, however you're watching or listening here, is that this is about the ceiling, the absolute limit of where this team can go. So I'm going to agree with the 44% of you guys that the best case scenario for Syracuse basketball next season is Sweet 16 or better now that Chance Westry is in the fold. And I think that is a raise from what I thought it was going to be before the news was official, because we didn't know that Chance Westry was fully cleared. We thought he would be, or at least I thought he would be, but we didn't know for sure until about last weekend. I think it was before, maybe you could say they make the tournament and they win a game. I say now they can actually do damage, make the Sweet 16 or even better as the ceiling. And I already gave you guys the first reason is we actually know he's healthy, but also because while we don't know what his production will be, here's what we do know. He's a former top 40 recruit in the country. That was just a couple seasons ago, 2022. Remember Syracuse's 2022 class? It almost actually included Chance Westry in it. And also, he was a 4-star transfer on 24/7 Sports when he went over to Syracuse before, of course, getting hurt before the season started. We know he's got talent. Now, what is he going to actually do with it? That's anybody's guess. But all I'm saying is that the ceiling for this team, now that we know he's 100% ready to go health-wise, has been raised because we know the potential is there with Chance Westry. Now, coming up, we're going to give you guys more reasons why I believe the ceiling is raised with this team. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. And speaking of Syracuse basketball and their ceiling being raised, well, FanDuel has released the Orange's odds of winning the national championship next year at plus 12,000. So still a long shot, but hey, with Chance Westry in the fold, if he can live up to his potential, I would say by midseason, those odds are going to be cut in half. But that's just my opinion. It's still a long shot regardless. Head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. It's one thing to watch baseball on TV. That at times can get pretty boring, but going to a game in person is an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to watching the Mets for the rest of the summer. And the way I'll watch them in person is by using Gametime. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, and all you have to do is go to Gametime and search the team you want to see if you're choosing. It can be MLB or any league for that matter, and ticket options will appear right away. My favorite part is the all-in pricing feature. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So Chance Westry, we know, is healthy. We understand that now. It's pretty clear. All right? But another reason why the ceiling is raised is because with his court vision, he can play point guard. When you look at Syracuse basketball starting lineup, the shooting guard projects to be J.J. Starling. I think we all are happy with that, right? Small forward, Chris Bell. Now, I know Chris Bell has his faults, but we can't deny that he is the best shooter on the team, and Syracuse needs him. They need him, and I think he's pretty good. Even though he's not the greatest, because of his elite shooting, he is still an effective starter for this team. Now, at power forward, you got Donnie Freeman. He is a blue-chip freshman coming into this season, the best recruit since Carmelo Anthony. We're certainly going to take that, right? And then the center is Eddie Lampkin, who is very solid, proven in the Power 5. Averaged 10 and 7 last year with Colorado. He's proven. He's not an all-conference player, but is he a very capable starting center in the ACC? I believe so, and he's going to do wonders for this team because they actually have a starting center. I digress. Notice why I didn't say the point guard. Because, well, before the news that he was officially cleared, I was saying for now, Jaquan Carlos is the starting point guard for this team. And I like the Jaquan Carlos addition. I do. But with Chance Westry's pedigree, you can't deny that Westry has a higher ceiling than Jaquan Carlos. Now, you can argue that Carlos, given that he averaged 10 points and 6 assists at Hofstra last year, led his conference in assists, and he's an all-conference defender, you can argue that he has the higher floor for this team next season. But Westry has the higher ceiling. So if he has a good training camp, maybe he's the starting point guard for next season. I would be okay with that. If this coaching staff believes that he's ready to take on that role, by all means, do it. Because the ceiling will be raised with him as the starting point guard. Once again, Jaquan Carlos was a solid addition, but he does not have the ceiling that Chance Westry does. So that is the theme of this episode, of this week's Poll Friday. How far is the seam? Or how far is the ceiling? Or how high is the ceiling? That's what I was searching for. How high is the ceiling for this team? I think it's Sweet 16 or higher. I think it's Sweet 16 or higher. Remember, it's the ceiling. I already thought that at their best before the news that, sure, they can definitely make the tournament at their best. If everything goes right, certainly they'll make it. So I do think it changes in a positive way with Westry in the fold and healthy. That's why I'm going to say it is Sweet 16 or better for this team next season as their ceiling. Now, the floor, yeah, that's where you got to come back down to earth a little and understand that the ACC is probably going to be a little bit tougher next season, and their non-conference schedule, there's some tough games on that one, right? So NIT is probably the floor with a Sweet 16 or better as the ceiling. There's a lot of ifs on this team. If Donnie Freeman's great, if Chance Westry is great. But once again, this is about the ceiling. And I think the ceiling is Sweet 16 or better for Syracuse basketball next season. So that is it for this week's Poll Friday. I apologize for the delay. I posted on Twitter, which is at @LO_Syracuse, that there was going to be a delay with it. So I appreciate those for sticking around. Full disclosure, I wasn't traveling. People in my family are traveling today, and one of them forgot their wallet. So right before I was about to record this episode, I needed to get to the airport and deliver a wallet, or else, well, that family member wasn't getting on their vacation. So that is why this week's Poll Friday was delayed, but everything is all good. Now, as far as the schedule coming up, we got a segment clip about the Syracuse football offense and which players could break out on it. And then on Sunday, in case you missed the news this afternoon that broke, Syracuse basketball made another addition actually to its freshman class. So now that's 3 freshmen in the class of 2024. He's from Europe, and we're going to go over that for a full episode on Sunday. Once again, thank you all for your patience, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button, and if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you know right away when I am dropping the next podcast. And everyone, have a great weekend.